are in California, and I'm walking towards someone that he just spotted me, and I believe he's on the phone. But our first stop in California, in Los Angeles, is MotoClub Los Angeles. It used to be called the MotoClub Santa Monica. Now it's called MotoClub Los Angeles. And if you guys didn't know, we are going to meet up over here on Saturday. And that's the man himself, Victor. He's on the phone. We're going to be bugging him in a little bit. But take a look. This is cool that they have a Justin Bieber Vespa right here. We got 650 Ebe coming here. I flew down to California. I haven't seen Ebe yet. There he is, just like clockwork. I landed about an hour ago, and Ebe got to Los Angeles. When did you get to Los Angeles, Ebe?
Oh, when did I get here?
Yeah.
Oh, freaking 4 hours ago.
4 hours ago. So he got here 3 hours before I did.
Yeah.
And this is kind of crazy. I'm still a little dazed because I just got off the plane, but we're in California.
Yeah, and all the traffic and limited parking, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's a little gray, but I hope it gets sunnier.
It will.
But he's tired too, I could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 hours
That's
sleep.
How many hours of drive?
37 hours.
Holy cow! With a truck and a trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cheated. I got on a plane, guys.
Cheater. 5 lousy hours.
Ebe always shows up with a trailer full of bikes, and this time around, you guys aren't seeing double. That's 2 Motomillion M1000RRs. Look at this. They're both on carbon fiber subframes, both on carbon fiber fuel tanks. We'll go over them in detail shortly, and that's the mighty RS, the Multistrada RS. And Ebe's right here unloading stuff in the middle of the road.
Yes.
This is as shady as it gets. And you know you're in California when you have a water tower right there that says Sony Pictures. That's pretty cool. And take a look at this. Ebe unloaded the Speed White RS34 that we had in Florida. This is crazy. All change of scenery, but the same bikes. And there is Victor himself getting that bike inside, and I'll show you guys inside a little bit. And also Jim Caviezel's on his way, because I don't know if you guys knew, but Jim bought our Motomillion M1000RR with a brand new fresh engine that we got from BMW. The bike still has full warranty. Better yet, it has warranty from the day that the engine was installed, so it's got longer than new warranty on it. And you guys will see both bikes together. They are twins, but they're not the same. So I'll show you that, and we're waiting for Jim to arrive. Literally everybody just showed up. He'll be here in about half an hour. We just want to set it up to make it presentable for him, and we're going to get his first reactions to the bike once he shows up, because he's never seen these bikes in person yet.
Now there's 2 of them. I'm hoping you know which one's yours.
Number 33.
That's right.
Because I was 33 when I played Jesus in the Passion. My initials are JC.
The carbon fiber.
I'm going to be honest. I actually think it was good.
Yes! I was hoping you would, man.
Yeah, when you rolled the bikes and I saw it, I was like, okay, I have to do that.
Yes! That's awesome.
Jim is right there. He got to see his bike, and it's truly astonishing to see people that are in love with motorcycles and what they have to say when they see their new toy. And just take a look at this thing. So this is 650 Ebe's Motomillion M1000RR. And you're not seeing double, and they're not exactly the same bikes. This is Jim Caviezel's Motomillion M1000RR right here. And these are some of the touches that was done at the end with the seat cover that has JC33. And also the logo right here on the top. And I'm sure you guys have seen this bike on our channel. It has the GP4MS calipers in front, and if you realize, this M1000RR has Olin's forks, Olin's rear shock, and everything else that comes along with it. An SC Project SC1R made it to the Akrapovic full titanium exhaust. It has our underslung rear caliper with the MM Racing lightweight rear rotor. Obviously, the carbon fiber subframe, the carbon fiber tank. There's just so much detail in these bikes that you have to really look at it and appreciate it, and also look at it very closely to see all the changes on it. One thing that was done that I did not see were these full 6 carbon fiber frame covers. I did not know how I would feel about it. Now that they're installed on the bike, I think it looks really good. But this is one of 2 in existence Motomillion M1000RR again, but it's 1 of 1 because we never do anything that's exactly the same. So this is technically number 1 or 2, and this is number 1 or 2. This is another one. If you take a look, the calipers are different. Some of the pieces, like around here, the colors are different. The fuel cap's different, and they're just astonishing bikes. This actually has a Aero GP Evolution exhaust on it. It doesn't have that same setup, so it's also different in the exhaust end. They are inherently twin bikes, if I may say, and they are both the only Motomillion M1000RRs that are in existence. But as I always say on our videos that we make, we like making bikes that look like they could have came from factory like this. These bikes truly could have been a very special edition bike from BMW if they had no budgets to meet by. And when I say budgets, because they were restricted with the price that they could sell these vehicles by, because these are homologation bikes. These bikes have to adhere to a price point so that they could take them racing. If they're above that price range, they're not allowed to be made into race bikes, because these start off as the base of the race bike that you see in World Superbike. But we're here at MotoClub Los Angeles, and there's going to be a meetup here on Saturday. Today is Wednesday. There's going to be a lot of people. I'm sure people will be excited to see these things, and I want to see people's reactions to these beautiful motorcycles. And I love the fact that Victor was so hospitable to get us in here, even though they're not Aprilias or Moto Guzzis that he sells, that they're BMW motorcycles. It's day 2 here in California. I had a little opening in my schedule this morning, so I thought that I'd come and check out some 4-wheels. I'm at the Peterson Automotive Museum. This place comes highly recommended by anyone who is into cars or motorcycles. I'm gonna go check it out. Let's see if we see anything cool. Starting my day off in the vault over here, because there are some school field trips. And not that I don't like kids, I have a kid of my own, but I want to be more on the quiet side. And this area here is pre-war cars. I guess when they say pre-war, it's pre-World War cars. I'm gonna go through it. If something catches my eye, I'll show it to you guys. Well, right off the bat, when you walk into the vault and make a right, what do you see? You see Ferraris. I guess this is a special display that's on display right now. Obviously, what would a car museum be without Ferrari, because it's one of the most coveted brands. It's the 4-wheel Ducati in the automotive world. And these are really cool. There's more cool stuff in there that I'm going to show you. But here's a quick glance at some of the stuff that's over here. And for you guys who are not into cars, this is a Bugatti EB110. This is basically the Veyron of its time, and it was built in a time where Bugatti was in very troubled times. There are some really good documentaries about this car on YouTube. I suggest you guys go and check it out if it has intrigued you. It's the same idea. I believe this thing still had quad turbos. And look at this, it comes with BBS wheels. Enzo F40, and here, this is a 512 TR, I believe, not a Testarossa. Let's see if I know my cars. Yep, this is a 512 TR. It looks like a Testarossa, but it's the updated model. F40, everyone's favorite. But the stuff that intrigues me in here is more of these cars. This is a 250 GT Lusso. I have seen these on the road. Not a whole lot of them though, so even when you get to see them, it's such a treat. And the craftsmanship on these cars are just crazy nice. Look at this interior. Well, this is our first motorcycle sighting, and I would guess this is some sort of a movie bike. Is it a Robocop bike or a Batman bike? I don't know. If you guys know what this is, let me know. It doesn't have a placard on it. But our first two wheels that we've seen at the Peterson Automotive Museum. So an 888, and right here there's an H2R. Is this an R? It has the R wings on it. Well, these are the old school R1s. More of the Graves race bikes over here. This is a newer generation R1 Graves bike. Let's get closer and see what they have. They have some old school race calipers by Brembo. They have the Aussie Racing wheels, very similar to the ones that we use on the Motomillion R1M build. Obviously they have the underslung rear caliper setup. They're all on slick tires. Really, really cool just to see these bikes over here. More motorcycle sightings. This is a sidecar Harley. Again, excuse me that I don't know exactly what it is and there's no placard on them, but this is really cool. I've never actually ridden or been in a sidecar bike. I think that would be kind of cool. Imagine making a Penny V4 with a sidecar. That'd be hilarious. But also take a look at this. This has some sort of skis on it. I assume this was some type of a military vehicle. I don't know from what country, but if you recognize this license plate. Does the motorcycle have any kind of markings of the brand name on it? Yeah, it's a Husqvarna. So I'd assume it's some sort of a European military vehicle where there's some snow, because look at these skis. Well, this is a section they call Icons of Motorsport. And right off the bat, these are some IMSA race cars, Toyotas actually. Or Toyota engine. I don't know if they're exactly Toyotas, but they do have Toyota branding on them as well. And they have an Alpine here. If any of you guys are watching from Europe, you would know the Alpine because they actually have a new modern Alpine that's out now. Looks very, very similar to this, and it's always regarded as one of the nicer driving cars. They have some Indy cars, and they have drag racers. These are really cool. Imagine driving one of these things. Look at that, it's a double engine. So that thing has two engines right there. That even looks like a Ford Flathead. And over here, there are more Formula One cars. But what's really cool, if you're into Formula One, is the vehicles that are on this side, because I'm older and these cars were always regarded as the best Formula One cars, the V10 generation of Formula One, where they had just the best sounding machines. This is a McLaren, was actually wheeled by Mika Häkkinen, and right over here, this is Häkkinen's race winning car, or his championship winning car, the MP414. And these are just cooler because, again, Ferrari has such a big name in Formula One in the automotive world. This right here is Fernando Alonso's X car that was used. And they look so different from the Formula One cars of today. They're so long, especially this Ferrari right here. It's you don't get to see the scale of the things on TV when you watch a Formula One race. And that right back there is actually a Michael Schumacher Formula One car. I don't know exactly the year of these cars, but I do recognize the cars and who they were wheeled by. There's even older Formula One cars here. The Lotus, the Williams Renault cars, the new Aston Martin. So this is a new generation car. You could already spot the difference when you have something like this here, and it's really cool to have them side by side, right? The new generation cars and the older generation cars, you could see that even the wheels and tires are completely different. And the focus of aero, these cars have a lot more focus on aero when you take a look at them, that there's a lot more stuff going on. Really, really cool. Well, here's more motorcycles, and some motorcycles that we could relate to right here. That's an MV Agusta Magni. If you guys didn't know, MV Agusta still today, I believe, is the brand that has won the most GP championships, which is now renamed to MotoGP. And they're not even racing. They haven't been racing for a very long time. They were untouchable in the early days. And their 500cc engines, I think between 55 and 65 were the engines to have. There's a bimotor right here. But I also want to go right here. So these are very cool because nowadays we're getting bikes with special editions that have the liveries of this Honda right here, which is the 900RR, or is known as Fireblade for some of the people around the world. It's in immaculate condition. And right behind it, we have the Kawasaki ZX7. Again, we have a special edition model for Kawasaki's that are pretty much a copy of the paint scheme of these bikes. These bikes also, especially the Kawasaki, has adorned my bedroom wall as a kid with their posters. I was in love with these things. These dual air intakes that come on the front is such an iconic touch of these motorcycles. It's really, really cool to see them in such great shape and in person right over here. This is a very, very intriguing section for me, just because I think this era, the 30s and the 40s, was where the most beautiful cars were made. Just look at this Bugatti that was formerly owned by the Shah of Iran. Just the lines of these cars, they kind of look like Roger Rabbit cars, if you guys know what that is. But this is a 1939 Bugatti supercharged. So cool. And take a look at this. This is a Jaguar XK-SS that was owned by Steve McQueen. And we all know his love of cars and motorcycles. Just the shapes are so flowing. To me, they're beautiful. And one more over here. This thing, it's a 1924, I think, if I remember right, a Rolls Royce. This car is not touched. It was designed in 24. I think it says that it was rebodied in 35. But take a look at how beautiful these things look. Nowadays, we can't do anything like this because of the safety standards and regulations that are in the way of design. But wow, and this thing is massive. I don't know if you can tell the scale on camera, but it's just insane. Well, I didn't look at a sign, but this looks like the movie car section. We all know what this is. If you're old enough, this is Herbie. And if you're old enough, you know what this is. This is so cool. This is Kit. This is Michael Knight's car. I remember watching the show when I was a kid. I was so excited always when a new episode was up and we gather around the TV and watch it. And who can forget this, the Back to the Future car, the DeLorean. And right here, the Fast and the Furious. I guess this is the newest generation of car movies that came out that was crazy for their views and the audience that it gathered. If you know the longest running race in the United States of any kind, it is the Pikes Peak. And this car right here, the 935, was piloted by Jeff Zwart at Pikes Peak, where he did a sub 10-second time from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain. If you guys don't know, Pikes Peak is a legendary race where they raced the Pikes Peak hill climb. They started at the bottom of the mountain to the top. It's in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And at the time that this went on to the Pikes Peak event, a sub 10-second lap time was incredible lap time. There are some really good documentaries about the race. I urge you guys to watch it. Motorcycles are banned from Pikes Peak. I'm not going to get into the story of that, but always cool to see a Pikes Peak car here. I've been there twice so far, being present with my friends who are actually competing in Pikes Peak. It's always good to see a Pikes Peak car over here at the Peterson Automotive Museum. Another motorcycle find here in the museum. This is a Honda Alligator that was designed by Dan Gurney, the racer, and he was after trying to get a more comfortable motorcycle. So this is a motorcycle you sit in rather than sit on, as you can see by the seating position. And this is what you look like when you're riding it. And apparently it altered the center of gravity so much that it handles really nice, and also it makes it very comfortable, especially for taller riders. So cool. Didn't even know such a motorcycle existed. And look at this. It's got a Dimag wheel in the back, and I assume in the front too, but and Brembo underslung calipers. And also a carbon fiber bodywork. Look at this. So cool. I assume this is some sort of a prototype, but very cool that they were using carbon fiber. This is a 2002, but still, that's 20 years ago. I exactly knew what this is. I didn't have to even read the placard. This is a 996, the Matrix 996, which was a Matrix Reloaded. I think this is the bike that was on the movie. And you could tell that it was well used. Missing some fasteners. Has some scratches, probably from the filming where they had to mount and dismount the bike. But our journey continues in California. I'm going to be rolling more with my camera to show you what I'm up to in Los Angeles.